Now tonight at 6, we're certainly in election season. It's our top story, and thank you for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. With the midterm elections nearly here, some are already looking ahead to next year, 2023. Talking to business leaders at Greater Louisville Inc. today, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear explaining his top priorities for the next year. The governor mentioning a few key goals: pushing the legislature for universal pre-K, growing our workforce and creating jobs, and making infrastructure improvements. Now, ultimately, this all came from a discussion with business leaders about major economic issues in the state. WHS 11's Grace McKenna covered it today. She's here breaking it down for us. And Grace, the country certainly faces levels of inflation and workforce shortages, and now the governor's landing all these big companies for this state. So how is he going to account for these issues?
Yeah, Doug, well, he did acknowledge, inflation today, saying he understands that for the average Kentuckian, life is a lot more expensive these days. He mentioned freezing the vehicle property tax as one way that he's sort of working to combat that, at least on the state level. And now, in terms of some of those other overall goals, though, Beshear did say that Kentucky has momentum when it comes to economic development. It's something he attributes to economic investments, like you mentioned, the planned Ford electric battery plant, to capitalize on growth. He said the state needs to attract more people, proposing once again funding for a state advertising campaign. Beshear also said he intends to push for universal pre-K and would like to see education programs like Everybody Counts grow. Infrastructure can be expected to be another key legislative goal for 2023, with Beshear focusing today on clean water, roads, and broadband. Between his status report and the answers to the guest questions, he painted a bright picture for the Commonwealth.
I have faith. I have faith that we can and will push through these challenges because I've seen it firsthand. Listen, you don't come together and fight a global pandemic and not be able to address the other challenges in front of us.
Beshear also spoke about supply chain issues facing not just Kentucky companies, but companies nationwide. He said one priority for solving that is bringing suppliers closer to home and connecting Kentucky companies with other Kentucky companies. Doug, we've covered some of these projects like the Ford plant and battery park so extensively. Governor Beshear called that the tip of the iceberg. He said we can anticipate those projects to start paying off in 2023. So really a very optimistic picture here for the future of Kentucky.
You're right. They're going to have to come up with a hiring plan. It's going to be a lot of people in demand for these jobs. And of course, the company's going to hire thousands.
Certainly are a lot of workforce drivers that he sort of addressed today. Things that he believes, like with childcare, like with universal pre-K, that they can get done in the legislature to attract more people to Kentucky.
All right. Very good. Thank you very much, Grace.